to have a full config for this shit. There we go. It's rolling out to mid. So who is he actually playing? So he's playing Reason. I think this demo name was lower bracket. Yes, this is lower bracket on Badlands. b4nny versus Mike is the main matchup I'm focusing on for this game. And of course, well, I'm just going to ignore everyone else because I don't care about soldiers, but Cadis is obviously crazy enough to look at too. But I'm just going to focus on purely Mike and b4nny. So let's see what they do on this mid. So first things first, looks like b4nny went window and already hopped down. So they have literally 6 going this side, which is a little weird. So Blaze jumps in. b4nny jumps in too. So this is not too good. This is like they've already lost mid at this point, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to watch anyway. So the fact that b4nny is shooting that soldier is bad because the fact is he has 6 people stacked on this side. So that means someone has to tank the enemy team rolling in, right? So b4nny has to be the one who probably at this point, instead of falling off or taking any damage at all, he actually, if I was b4nny there, I would have delayed the jump onto crate at all if I realized I had 6 stacking that side, and I probably would have jumped point delayed, and that way I try to distract. But yeah, there's nothing he can really do at this point. The scout just ran across point, and he was trying to clean up the roamer, and I'm pretty sure they're going to lose mid. Yeah, they're pretty much fucked. Well, I think that would basically came down to DM at the end rather than anything special. So now Reason has full Uber advantage. This should be a free round for them as long as nothing special happens. So the only thing they have to worry about right now is making sure no one gets behind them on the flank. So like when Clockwork spawns, he'll sometimes do that. We'll see. Looks like they're fast enough, they don't care, so they're pushing straight in. So b4nny's got a pretty good spot right now, but there's no stickies on the point, so yeah, they instantly lose. I think that was just bad spawn from b4nny, because I think b4nny was the last one to die, and if you're the last one to die on Badlands mid and you get a bad spawn, then you instantly lose because you don't have a demo man. It's sort of silly, but sometimes it works. Invis models that I see his antlers and his weird robe. At least that means I can sort of see him. So see if they actually change up their mid. I think they're doing exact... Yeah, so it looks like they're doing exactly the same mids. They're still going up the right side. It looks like they're stacking maybe not 6 this time, so they're actually kind of delaying it. So I think that's Clockwork who's waiting for him. Yeah, so Clockwork's going to get a free kill, but that soldier already traded with b4nny, so he doesn't actually care. And not to mention he bought time, so now I'm not even watching b4nny, I'm focusing purely on the scouts right now. So right now, if we look at who's actually alive, so b4nny and Blaze and b4nny all go down. b4nny got kind of unlucky, I'd say. I think he might have gotten double directed by Might. Usually a demo won't die in that situation. So I would say partially unlucky mid. I'm just assuming they're going to lose unless one of the scouts for Froyo goes huge like Clock, but we'll play it out. So Reason's playing this pretty smart. They're all just balling up and pushing them out and chilling. And I think Shade got out. At least I hope he did. b4nny is rolling back out. They're pushing already onto 2. So yeah, Shade should have gotten out for free. So I would say that was like partially a bad luck mid and partially Blaze or b4nny. One of them had to stay alive longer and they would have won, I'm pretty sure. Sizer, will you mentor me? I think we're all going to be mentoring each other when Overwatch comes out, Sizer. Cadis is here in my channel. That guy's getting mocked. So let's see. So b4nny right now should be focusing on, he has to push out. So this is actually an interesting situation. It's always one that comes up, especially when it's during a tournament. It's like, you know you have Uber, they just cap, do you want to contest 2 or not? A lot of teams won't bother. It just kind of depends on how confident you are. Oh, b4nny's got like pretty good damage though, so I think he's going to push off that damage that he just got. I don't think he should have gone for the demo here. I think maybe he didn't have enough rockets loaded, but it's kind of rough because he doesn't have a shotgun it. Okay, I just got backed up. Well, that was an easy 2 rounds for Reason. How long did that take? It took less than 3 minutes, already down 0-2. Holy shit. Maybe the only reason why b4nny did statistically poorly on this map is because they just lost the back apps instantly. So same route to mid. Let's see here. So already you can just tell they aren't going closet because both the scouts are on this side. So let's see what b4nny does. So typically if you're playing pocket during this rollout, you don't want to instantly jump anything. So I think that's... So yeah, he doesn't instantly jump anything, he counter jumps, and somehow... So both times now, Mike has jumped at like bad times where he should probably die. Like he's jumped straight into the enemy team in the last round and straight into 2 scouts, literally 2 scouts in the roamer this time, and he's either double directed someone or never missed, and he always trades. So this mid he actually got clockwork, and killing and trading for a scout on Badlands mid is typically a good trade. Or like really good trade for a soldier. Now Banny has to actually do something magical here or get out. It's gonna be one or the other. Yeah, this team's pretty much screwed. I think Shade's dead here. Yeah, he's dead. Not much Banny can do. The only thing I think Banny could have done there would be at the very end, instead of choosing to get out, sack for the enemy medic, but it depends on like a lot of factors. So I mean, Shade was already walking out, so I think he made the better call, which was to get out with Shade. So, well, he tried to get out with Shade anyway. So this is interesting. So wait a second. He knows Cadus is spawning, but apparently... So this is... I would say this is actually pretty risky because... Well, the way I would play Roamer on this map anyway is that I would be worried about Clockwork pushing this exact flank because I have experience pushing Clockwork or playing Clockwork on this map. So if I was playing Roamer, like if I was Mike right now, I would have... Assuming I was spawned in time, this might be hitting an interesting timing. If I was spawned in time, I'd be getting 300 and pushing House solo with 300 HP and just 1v1ing anyone there with a 300. And you're going to win anything with 300. But I think because Banny stayed alive, he can actually hit this interesting timing right now where I think Mike has not actually been back yet. Yeah, so Mike... Oh, wait, what? That's interesting. Huh, whatever. So Mike knows Banny's here but chooses not to fight him, or maybe he just didn't see him. I don't know. But now that means Cadus is fucked, because that means Cadus is walking back solo. And holy crap, he almost 2-pipes Banny anyway. Okay, that's really bad, really bad by Mike. Like, the moment that Cadus lands a pipe and he calls it and Cadus is good, so he undoubtedly did, Mike should be getting 300 before walking through a door. It's like, what are you doing, Mike? Because if he got 300 and pushed Banny, he would have instantly won. Because Banny would have had 180 versus 300. As long as he doesn't get triple directed, you're going to win. Now he's trying to camp again. Yeah, there's not much you can do. The only thing I would think he could have done better in that specific situation is... I actually would have kept running. Well, depends on how you want to play it. His medic's only at 60% around the time he died, and so I would have asked my medic, how much time do you need? And I would have probably gone to their last and just really hardcore delayed. But I don't think they actually need it. Depends on how many people are in mid. I wasn't paying that much attention. Now they've split. That entire play that Banny did was pretty good because it made it so they didn't instantly lose the round. Now they equalized the Ubers and they can sort of just chill out for a while. Oh, that right there, the angle that he just used to spam upper, that's actually like one of the few good angles on this map with a normal rocket launcher. You can spam that pretty easy with a normal rocket launcher versus the original. I'm kind of surprised they're pushing out this far. So I thought Reason would have already been upper, and then Ash peeks it first anyway. And it's like, if you expect them to be right there, Ash should have been behind Banny. So now they have to back up to last. And realistically, that almost loses them the round instantly based on... It depends on how fast Reason pushes, but it's not a good thing to have. But Blaze kills a scout. And he should not be peeking this. So we know that Ash is down one, so it's 5v5 right now. Ash is about to spawn, so Banny's team has advantage, but from the game sounds, we know that literally, I'm like pretty sure about this, that the entire team is sitting in upper lobby right now. He's literally about to peek the entire team. And he's actually peeking off it. He's dead. Yeah, second soldier shows up. He's dead. Yeah. There's actually, you can peek that if you have the original, and, well, that's one of the places where original's nicer if you're defensively peeking. But, not like that. But, kind of surprised Reason didn't just push on that right then. They should have. They had a one-man advantage. No reason not to. So they do push, or Suicide 2? And oh, it looks like Clockwork went through the flank, got 2 picks randomly, so now they're going to push out for free. So he decides to take it, drop down, pushes out. Good. That's good rocket position, by the way, if any of you are just wondering why he's spamming the choke, because there's no point in shooting the medic rather than shooting the people in that case. So this is good. He has the perfect Uber right now. Just depends on how he plays it here. Okay, so this is actually where I'd say he fucked up. So right now, I was wondering, the 1 second delay he just had at the choke means that medic is going to get out. I'm like 90% sure, because now he jumps the medic. So because he delayed for that 1 second, now he jumps the medic and he no longer has the Uber on him. So now the medic, depending on who comes in from his team, may or may not die. So yeah, because essentially with the Uber, the pocket is 300 stacked at the end of the Uber, right? So if you're 300 stacked in your pocket and you jump in, their entire enemy team is going to be focusing you, the 300 HP player. Now he's been taking the med beam for the past 10 seconds, right? And he knows that Blaze and Clockwork were probably, I want to say they were the ones capping. I can't actually check off the top of my head, but usually the roamer and a scout are going to be capping the point, right? And so they're going to be taking spam. So those two people, most of the time, if you're going to do this type of push, you have to know at least 2 people on your team are weak. And therefore, as the pocket, you have to be the one that has to say, okay, I need to make sure I'm distracting and taking damage, or else my entire team is going to die, because basically I'm most of my team's health pool right now. And so by the fact that he decided to wait that half a second and go for a side play instead of being like the main force through the choke, that would normally be totally acceptable, but it's only bad in this one case because his team doesn't have the health to pull it off. So like, he's the only one on his team who has health, so he has to be the one tanking, and he's not tanking, so now his whole team's dead. So he has to try and get the med now, but it's going to be really hard. Oh, well, I actually got it pretty easily. Nox should have surfed that rocket though and been safe, as was just execution. Somehow DM is just winning fights now. Cadis is trying to solo cap. He just gets 2 picks. Okay, Cadis. That's weird. Can't really predict people going big in the games like this, because it's like a, you know, obviously it's a big tournament, so people are. Just wait a second. Now we have like another DM fest. So why is Reason doing this? So Reason knows Cadis just died, and they know that they're all still walking in. So it's going to be a no buff versus no buff fight. Let's see who wins. So I know it's come down to almost pure DM, but Banny's team has the high ground. They have to recap. Well, that was weird. Apparently Banny had a scout behind him that peeked him or something. Either way, Banny should have been playing that a little more defensive, I think, and playing the spam game, because he was stacked and his team, the rest of the enemy team wasn't. Oh my god, is he actually going to live through this? Okay, gets him on the second pistol clip. Yeah, that was just a bad push in general from Reason. Now they're just sort of running in one by one, and it's causing this really chaotic game that shouldn't really be working. And when he causes a chaotic game versus Clockwork, he's just going to run you over because he out-DMs everyone. So this should be a free round now for Bandy's team, because now Froyo can probably take Spire for free. The only thing they have to really worry about right now is like a sniper peeking, but I mean, due to Spectator, how do we know there's no sniper peeking? It would be a pretty risky play in general. But as long as they don't get, they have to just walk in slow, check for random traps and stuff, and then it should be okay to walk in with Uber advantage. Banny checking the traps. Good job, Banny. So you see this hesitation where he's looking at everyone. I think they're trying to determine who's going in on the Uber. So you see the scout is going in and he's healing Banny, but wait, it's like the pocket should not even be in this Uber. Banny should not be in this Uber at all, because it should be, typically if you have an Uber advantage, you're going to want to be pushing with a demo and a scout, because they're almost always going to have a sentry, and we can see from Spectre how they have a sentry, but that should be scouted out to Froyo before they even pop. So it should be a scout in the demo. So yeah, they have a pyro, they have a loose cannon knockback, and they have all of that. And I mean, yeah, Banny kills the sentry, but I think a demo man would have done it easier, and Banny could have been more useful somewhere else. I think Banny's actually out of ammo right now. He is. He's out of ammo. Oh, he's picked up one. He's good now. Holy crap, he almost died, the medic. This push, you can just tell this push is pretty sloppy, like it should have been a lot easier for Froyo to push in. And I think that's just because Banny, he was pretty effective, but he could have been more effective. So like when it gets this this late into a fight, typically whichever team has the soldiers on high ground on Badlands last is going to win the vast majority of the time. And so b4nny wasn't prioritizing taking high ground as much, so he kind of lost the push. Although, of course, I have no idea what was going on with the rest of the team. I'm not going to watch every perspective like I would if I was actually my own team, but just off the top of my head, it's like if you were playing soldier and if you took high ground, you probably would have won. Ooh, that was pretty good by b4nny. So b4nny gets 2 picks. See, it's weird because you would think... I'm actually not sure how he got there. I'm going to stop and look. How did he get there? I was watching Captain's perspective. At 36,000. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. That'd be embarrassing. Although I think they fixed all those bugs, apparently. So where does b4nny? b4nny's here. So he just backed out with his team. They're pushing. This should be really... Well, it's kind of funny because, I mean, I don't know how good their game sound is right now. Kind of depends. Realistically, there should be... I don't know. That's sort of a weird play in general. It's like that's the timing to hit if you want to back cap, but he went for a flank instead, and the flank... But realistically, the only reason why either of those worked was because they couldn't hear him for some reason. So the play shouldn't have worked in either case. But it was oh well. Still pretty good though. Because now they get to reset on last. Equal Ubers for the most part, assuming Nox's team resets properly. So they're going to have Uber advantage again. I want to see if b4nny tries to take it with the Demo Man. Again, that would be kind of sad. Because you definitely want the Demo... At least for me personally, I always want my Demo Man to take the Ubers in on Badlands last. Because it makes it so much easier for the rest of the team. But you can see this time they actually have a sniper, so... They have Sniper Pyro, they're up 50%. See, this is weird. They were only up 30% earlier, but now they're up 50, which means Nox wasn't actually hard building. So if Nox was hard building to not change targets, not do anything, he would actually be at like 85% Uber right now, I think. And if he had 85% Uber right now, they would be holding this with ease. So it looks like they're actually going to be pushing with b4nny. They probably scout out the fact they don't have a sentry. The issue is it's a fucking Pyro and you're on gunboats, so he has to take a scout. As long as that scout hits his shots, it should be good. He doesn't even shoot the Pyro. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get reflected. Yeah, you can sort of see, I mean, that was a pretty easy push because I think they made one, I think Ash suicided on the point or somehow died. He says he died to Captain. So either way, free push. And b4nny was prioritizing high ground that time, mostly because there's 3 frags in front of him waiting to come out of spawn. Do you think you should still Uber into last if you have a small advantage and don't have time to scout out off classes? You should always have time to scout out off classes. It's super, super rare that you don't. I mean, it would take... It's like such a weird situation. It's like if it's that small of an advantage, then you shouldn't be pushing at all because it's not one, essentially. So this mid, let's see. b4nny jumps. So it looks like they're going up their slope again. b4nny's in a decent position. Cadis for some reason has pipes out, otherwise... Oh, that's actually might be landing perfectly on that area. Yeah, those pipes are pretty good damage. So Forsaken just died. So this is sort of like a... b4nny isn't necessarily done anything type of mid, and it's like b4nny's playing really defensive. So the fact that b4nny was playing so defensive actually ended up killing Shade. And it doesn't really make that much sense, except basically you know that, 1, the pipes came in, they did decent damage. 2, you know that Mike is going to be jumping aggressively over mid because that's what Mike does, and the fact that you aren't just... And we know that Blaze just got a kill somewhere on a scout, which means he can't bomb because he's probably just traded in health, so he's 150 right now. So b4nny still had 220 to 230 plus. See, at that moment, after you see Blaze got a scout kill, you should have actually jumped the enemy slope into the enemy scouts, because basically you know that their roamer is going to be jumping into your team, is going for your medic, and so it's your job as Pocket to be tying up the enemy players to make sure they can't capitalize on it. And because Mike came in and your entire team had to shoot Mike, and you shot Mike as well, you either should have been pushed up slightly further and shot than keeping the scouts in check rather than shooting the soldier. So basically, just make sure, I would say, like, it's the pocket's job to shoot the scouts, and I wouldn't have the pocket worry about the roamer at all, even though the roamer is Mike and he's really good. Like, if you put that many team resources into stopping Mike, then you're going to lose. Oh shit, it's Milo in my chat, he's getting modded. What else do we have? People just don't talk in my chat that I know. So here's something interesting. Your team has uber disadvantage, and so you can sort of see how. So that's one cool thing to keep in mind about Froyo is they never really give up anything for free. So you saw basically the enemy team has uber advantage, right? So it's like, oh, they should be sitting on their train, but they sit on the enemy train for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then they back up because they know that the enemy's team, even though they have 6 up, is still walking to mid because they just respawned, right? And so therefore they can't use their uber advantage unless they have 6. And so by sitting on that enemy train, you can spam for free, and you just basically don't want them to take it until you have to back up 5 seconds later. So now you know they're coming in, so both soldiers are playing pretty far forward still. They sort of keep rotating back and forth. And so we see, that was interesting, Uber. So they went through house and then window. I'm pretty sure that wasn't spotted by Froyo, because otherwise both soldiers would have been focusing on spamming it. But either way, they only lose clockwork, so they can just reset. It's going to be fine. Ubering out of window is pretty tough to actually catch anyone that isn't. Well, pretty tough to catch the medic anyway. So now he's reset. So if you have to push mid with Uber advantage on Badlands, realistically it's really, really hard to push choke, and you should either push Valley or House. So let's see if he pushes Valley or House here. So he's looking for a free pick. Mike is getting out. See, that's actually super, super important that they did damage to him right there and caught him out by rotating Valley, because now they can freely push and there's no way anyone can suicide them except for Captain. And if Captain suicides them, then, well, it's a little weird. I'm pretty sure he's running shotgun. So technically shotguns have better bombs because you can shotgun force people, but either way, Banny decides to back up. I'm not sure why, because I still think, even though they saw your entire team, you're still in a good enough position to take it. And you're down 2-1 on the European rule set. You only have 17 minutes. It's better to play a faster tempo. Probably there's actually going on the flank because Blaze just killing people again. And so that soldier pushed choke because I'm assuming he thought that something was going on flank. So Banny's peeking. Can't really do anything though. I think he's just seeing if there's any free picks. Because Forsaken's going to be respawning really soon. You never want to get baited into pushing 6v5 into mid because their spawn's going to be there after the Uber's over. This is like the boring part of TF2, which I think is the worst part, where both teams are just like, well, I don't want to push with equal Ubers. I don't really want to make a play. I'm just going to chill out for a little bit. I mean, technically, well, this is simultaneously the worst and best part, right? Because it's the best because this is where teams get creative. This is also the worst because it's a European rule set. There's 16 minutes left, and I'm 99% sure if Reason is good, they're going to be parking the bus right now. If you're on a Euro rule set and you're playing to win, you park the bus at 1-0. Like, you do not give a fuck. So if they're parking the bus right now, it makes it a lot more interesting for Banny because he's going to have to actually actively push something or hope to get a pick somewhere. I think they're slowly realizing they have to go make active plays as defense now. They're like, okay, cool, we have to go peek house. We have to see if we can get a pick because they realize they're parking the bus. So both soldiers peek house at the same time. There's no one here. Oh, wait, what the hell? How did he get there? What the... Was he in Valley? Wait a minute. I think that... I'm going to have to rewind that. I'm pretty sure what happened was... okay, so both of Reason soldiers were setting up a play near window over to the right. And so right as they saw Blaze jump into the house area, both of them jumped behind Blaze, assuming, oh, we're just going to get a free pick on the Blaze, right? But it just so happens, by pure luck, that Banny's team have been pushing into house with 3 or 4 people. And now both of those soldiers together, Captain and Mike, are now splashing like 4 targets at a time, and now they trade 2 for 1 and Captain gets out. So, let's see, 57,000, I don't know, let's go like 56,000, I guess. I don't actually know, like, good ticks. I'm glad they fixed the crashing, though. Makes me happy. Let's watch Mike and Captain. What do you guys actually do here? Wish I had binds for every single person. I'm not good enough for that yet. So yeah, Mike is just playing the house. So like, this is a pretty typical spot for Romer to be playing. So he actually does see, he sees Blaze go into house, and so he just goes for a play. It's not even intentional by the team. And so he goes for a play here, sees the whole team, just goes for it. And where is Captain? Oh, so just so happens that Captain also notices that Mike is going for a play, and so he decides to delayed follow-up on Mike. And so he catches out 2 people, and he gets to back up. Interesting. So now here's the question now. Do you push 5v4 or park the bus for another 45 seconds? That's the interesting question. I'm pretty sure they're going to push. I would push. So they push. They have a scout on Spire. Apparently he flanked through Valley in that time frame. So Banny's team is forced to pop. Nox is still at choke, really, really safe. Banny, I don't even know if he could actually get that medic with that Uber. It's like, it's going to be really tough. So he goes for the scout. Realistically, I think it's more of a stylistic difference. I would have suicided into that medic 99% of the time and forced them, because I do not want that team to reset. Now they're resetting with 4 players, and Mike and Blaze trade. Realistically, okay, so this is why I don't like the reset play. This is only working for Froyo because the enemy team fucked up. So realistically, you have Mike. So if Mike was smart about this, and he knows if it's 4v6 that their team is going to be pushing because it's their only option and they're down on time already, that he should actually have been hiding around the train with Nox and be ready to aggressively pop into all of Froyo. Like, if he played that just a little bit smarter, he would have gotten a 4K Uber and it would have absolutely wiped the entire round. They would have won. I mean, they do kill Banny anyway, but I don't think they're going to kill Shade. And now their team is going to get possibly baited into this engagement. Depends on how it works out. They're doing a lot of damage, though. Reason is, I feel like a lot of people on Froyo should have died there and they didn't die, but I don't really pay that much attention to it. So Banny's up again. He's coming out. What's happening now? The Banny's team has 40% Uber advantage or so, and they're looking to push. This is a decently risky play, even though they're up on numbers. This is pretty good, though. The main issue with making this type of push, where you're just like, all right, we know that we're equal in numbers, we have a slight Uber advantage that hasn't been fully charged yet, and we're going to push out on a positional advantage because the enemy team isn't set up. So Banny's like, all right, let's walk out and push. Is that your team is also not set up for back cap. So he could actually get back capped again right now, and I think it might happen. But again, if Froyo, Blaze did trade with Forsaken, but it's still possible. Holy shit. That's the other risk. So there's some weird things in TF2 where, like, you think, oh, the default location as a pocket, when my team is capping Spire, I want to be at choke, right? Well, you want to be at choke after you push out the enemy team. Banny didn't push out, he pushed out the enemy team technically, but didn't damage them, right? And he doesn't have Uber, so realistically he has nothing. He's actually in a disadvantageous position by playing close to choke in that area. He actually should have been playing back on bridge, even though it's the worst spot. Realistically, he should have been playing more safe, wait for the Uber, then counter popped into choke when they walked in. People talking about shotgun versus gunboats. I would argue that people use gunboats now because, well, one, they realized how good scouts were, but more importantly, I think a lot of pockets don't necessarily know how to Uber effectively that much anymore, or so they don't know how to get creative with their Ubers. Then, I don't know. I think a lot of people sort of lost how to Uber effectively, and so shotguns are super, super important to Ubers, but a lot of people aren't running shotgun anymore, and then they go, my Ubers aren't that good, I should just give it to scouts, and it kind of started with this weird chain reaction. Most of it, though, is just copying Lansky and the fact that a lot of people don't want to practice their shotgun because they're lazy. So Nox is walking up. So b4nny is set up with a forward spawn. Here he is. So he's in the perfect position right now, spamming him on Spire. This is basically the perfect position you want to be in if you're forward spawning, and you're forward holding, and you're setting up. Because they have a soldier spamming from both sides. This is like a death trap. Oh, Nox actually dropped there. Damn, that really, really sucks. That's actually funny. Holy shit, they just... That... He even types LOL in chat. He fucking knows. Their team completely fucks up, and then Froyo's team is like, alright, let's push out, and then instantly a scout just walks in the flank and backups. It's just sloppy. Not much you can do sometimes, but just kind of sucks. So, b4nny's been playing same exact mid every time now, or rather Froyo has. So they went closet twice, they got absolutely dumpstered both times, and they're like, alright, let's just keep going slope. So they go slope. So you see Mike, every single time, man, he's just like, alright, instantly hops in. So b4nny can either counter jump him instantly, or more importantly, that scout's about to push across point. So he's counter jumping the soldier, and that scout's for free on the right. That scout's probably about to just absolutely shit on Blaze, and so it's going to be very important for b4nny to shut down the rest of the soldiers here. So he shuts down the soldier. You can tell that scout's going to finish off Blaze. So b4nny should push through closet here and follow up, because the entire team is distracted killing Blaze. That scout was the front line. That scout actually should have ignored Blaze and gone for b4nny. That was the only possible play you could have made that would have ended up winning, because Clockwork was also winning on 1v1 on another side mid. But it doesn't really matter, because b4nny decided not to chase. b4nny could have actually chased there, depending on how hardcore their team wanted to go. Like, if that was mix-up and it was, you know, like Hardblue on Soldier, Hardblue probably would have chased. You probably would have had, like, the demo sticky jumping into Valley to chase. Like, literally everyone would have chased, but this is, like, this is a more high-stakes tournament, so a lot of people will play more safe in general. Okay, well, Chaos just got rolled. So they pushed in choke fast, and then they cut them off there, and Cadis and the other members of Reason get caught out. Those other members of Reason should have just given up Spire completely because they didn't have the positioning to hold. They should have set up, they should have backed up and set up a forward hold. And now, I mean, it's just a DM fest, because once a couple people die and your hold falls, it becomes really easy to get holes and get behind people, and now b4nny's just going to walk in for free and start rolling everyone. And that's a free round for them. That was all just based because Reason did not play safe enough and just go around up top. They had a few members who wanted to hold outside and had a Nox who was inside. It was just miscommunication. Someone asked me, how do you practice shotgun? Just go inside a DM server and go shotgun only. It's the best shotgun practice in the game. Same exact mid for Froyo. You see Mike again. This is like a repeat every single mid. Mike's in early, Froyo's walking up. So b4nny jumps and shoots. So that time Mike actually messed up, because Mike's done it so many times now. Clock and Ash are both looking for him, so he dies instantly. Blaze is jumping the right side solo again, which is totally fine. So b4nny right now, see, he should not be looking for the scout. Even though it's on his medic, it's like, you're not going to be there in time to save your medic one way or another. Your scouts are. So in this case, if instead he had actually jumped this enemy combo, he would have killed the demo and medic for free. Because there's no way the demo, unless Cadis lands 3 pipes, because I think b4nny was overhealed at that point, he would have actually killed both of them. And I'm pretty sure Half-Equal is the scout that's going for his medic. Yeah. Or wait, maybe not. Wait. Okay, yeah. So that scout's dead. So this scout was still... so it depends on how well you do the jump, because I would still go for it no matter what. Because basically, depending on how player positionings are, like if you jump straight past that demo into the medic, I don't know. There's a couple different ways to look at it, because I am always, if you look at my play, I always go for the trade plays rather than protect plays in like 90% of circumstances, and it's because the vast majority of the time, even if you don't know what's going on, trading or like pushing when the enemy team is pushing is going to be the safe call 90% of the time. Like let's say here, for example, b4nny turned around and he didn't go in, but let's say this guy, Half-Equal, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right by the way, this guy was actually going for a play like Clockwork, and he decided to hard push underneath the point and also suicide on his medic. I mean, it's possible that Shade would have died because Shade is 70% HP. All it takes is one meat shot, right? So, I mean, yeah, sure, you could also argue, well, Banny's there and he's protecting him, so there's a higher chance of Shade surviving. Yes, but you're also giving up your entire advantage of winning mid, right? Because there's no, you're basically saying, I'm going to make sure that my medic stays alive, but I'm giving up any chance of ensuring that the enemy medic dies. And so basically what happens here is, let's say that Forsaken is the scout that was suiciding on Shade, right? If that guy got lucky, landed 2 perfect shots on the Shade, Shade would be dead, Banny would do nothing, Nox would be safe, in which case it's almost a reset because Reason could win mid for free with Uber advantage. But if Banny had gone for Nox in this case, and let's say 50-50% chance he wins or he doesn't. If he doesn't get Nox, then he dies for no reason, but his team is still going to win mid, and his protecting Shade will not matter in the vast majority of cases. But if he goes for it and he wins, then now if his team wins mid without him, then his team wins the round. And he needs to make those aggressive plays. There's only 10 minutes left, and it's 1 round, but still. There's lots of weird soldier decisions you can make, but most of them come down to playstyle. And Banny didn't necessarily, I don't think he's really into the mindset of soldier where it's like, I need to make active trades. And, because I mean, he came from playing scout. I think he played soldier for like a week, so. That scout shouldn't have died right there. It's pretty bad. Geez, another 10 minutes to go. So, Banny's team, equal Ubers, they go for a double soldier spam play through bottom right. Doesn't work out. Enemy team has a sniper. Kind of just resets at this point. It's kind of like the boring part. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. Totally forgot my fast forward line. This dumb review should have been over if I remember about that. More spam, peeking snipers. They're actually just going to do it again. You gonna double spam again? Maybe. Up single spam. So he's spamming. So he actually did enough damage, and Mike is no longer up top, that he could literally just walk in. The only thing that he knows is that there is a sentry on the other side, but based on his positioning right now, I think he can actually spam that sentry down. So he gets a free kill. Oh, that's the wild card, right? Sniper. So Sniper actually just kills Clock. So now he has to back up. See, if Clock didn't die the Sniper there, he would have just pushed. Although Forsaken just spawned and died. I think he was the Sniper. Kind of bad luck. Odd. I should prompt an entire push from Banny. Should walk in top right, spam the gun across the way. Yep. He gets popped by the soldier, comes out of spawn. Nothing he can do about that because he's focusing on killing the gun. So he trades here. Okay, he's in perfect positioning right now. Notice he's camping high ground. He's going for the medic next. He's like, played that basically perfect until he decided to push the point instead of just going back up and looping around afterwards. Same thing as before where he doesn't necessarily prioritize high ground. If he looped back around and just went back up top instead of going for point, he probably would have done a lot more damage, potentially got another kill. Although he already got Nox. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, how important is that play? Well, not really that important because he already killed the medic, right? So they're going to reset, but it's just something small. Will I make this a VOD? Sure. When you talk about Banny or another class could be shooting / jumping, is there a reason why Banny is protecting Shay, or is it stylistic? I think it's all just style in a lot of ways, but I also think some are just straight up better, but a lot of it is so small it's not necessarily that noticeable or important. It's just, it only becomes important over a long period of time or in multiple games. So wait a second. So they're soldier. So this is the scout demo Uber that I was talking about earlier, where the pocket is following up, not necessarily part of the Uber technically, he's just kind of following it up and spamming. Oh, he just got body shot. I was not expecting him to walk all the way in like that, because that does put him at risk of body shots, but this team should be okay. See, the only issue right there is he was sitting there, it wasn't like he was focused specifically on the spawn door and controlling the high ground. He was sort of like spamming the point, not really doing much, and I think his team just absolutely got rolled by the soldier who came out of spawn plus K to spam. Otherwise, this should have been a free round win for him. So they're going to re-push and take this back. The whole goal behind this is basically to get kills on Spire and see if you can force me if you get lucky. Because if you get kills on Spire, then back up to mid, you can reset and the Uber advantages because they can't push 5v6. But looks like, so they're actually staying a little b4 more unusual. b4nny might die here. b4nny definitely died. So b4nny messed up a sticky jump. b4nny is dead. Yeah, that's ain't good. It's a natural risk of making that play, though. Your team has to be aware of how important it is that they stay alive. And you get one pick, it's like, okay, cool, get out. Now they're kind of seesawing it a little bit. We're like, all right, let's just Uber back in on the mid. Because they wanted to stop the point so b4nny and b4nny and them could get forward spawns. But essentially, they've traded their Uber advantage for a numbers advantage. And so if Reason's making the mistake right now, at least Captain is, of pushing. If they just had simply backed up, they could have repeated the entire process again and been like, all right, let's push mid with Uber advantage. But instead, they pushed, and now they have numbers down because the enemy team had forward spawns. And now this gives b4nny, which I'm pretty sure he's taking, the opportunity to push, even though he has Uber disadvantage because they have numbers advantage. So he's just going to take it. Now they're in an interesting position where they want to defend Spire. The enemy team has a small Uber, or has a significant Uber advantage coming up right now, and they're just like, all right, we'll just take this. We'll spam as much as we can, well then we'll back up if they pop into us. So Nox pops, and b4nny and Blaze are both on their, well, Blaze can't, or b4nny can't do much at all right now, but Blaze goes down. b4nny should not have been there. That was just sloppy play. He should have been jumping back and getting out to choke with Shade, and just resetting for the most part. Because there's not much else you can do. It would seem like he was indecisive, and he either should have backed up or gone all in, and he didn't go all in because he had 40 HP, so he should have just backed up. It's like, whatever. Not like it really matters all that much, but it kind of matters right now because it means that b4nny's team does not have a soldier to push, right? And they have Uber. So what does that mean? It means that Clockwork took the Uber, right? He's like, well, you can see Clock and Shade are here. They want to push in. Clock peeks a corner. It happens to be Mike there who double directs him. He instantly dies and Shade can't pop him. It's like, that sort of situation would have never occurred if b4nny had backed up 5 seconds earlier. So now b4nny's team has to push 5v6 with Uber advantage because remember, they only have 5 more minutes. So realistically, this entire situation, even though Clock just died, I would pin it on b4nny, but Clock does die a lot randomly too, so who knows. So this push is already rough because they've been taking so much damage, so Ashe goes down instantly, b4nny's 50 HP. That just seems sloppy to me because you know you have Uber advantage, Ashe just died, you're 50 HP, you cannot back out in this situation, you're just going to die to spam, which is exactly what happened, and they get popped. This is the worst possible scenario. What he should have done was take the Uber in with 40 HP, instantly pop, pogo into bottom right, and just try and trade with the medic. If you can get the medic in that situation, you're good. If you can't, then you made the best of what you can get. And the fact, so that's, and if they went in aggressively, then maybe Forsaken would have flanked right there. I don't know, but realistically, I'm an aggressive player. It's a style choice, so I would have gone for the medic play there because I'm confident in my own play enough to say, hey, I'm pretty sure I can get this medic more than 50% of the time, and therefore it's a good play for me. And I don't know if b4nny had that type of confidence on Pocket to be like, I'm 50 HP, we just had 1 down, we have Uber advantage, fuck it, it's time to go in just because I know that medic is out of position and I think I can get him more often than not. So b4nny goes in right there. I don't think he had to go in right there either. I think he's kind of falling apart because there's only like 3 or 4 minutes left or something because he did not have to go in. I mean, yeah, they had to force him, but you don't need to suicide someone here to force them because they're rolling in through choke. Choke is such a, I mean, it's a choke point for a reason. You could have a soldier sitting here spamming that side. They already had Blaze spamming that. They had b4nny spamming pipes. They were in a good position to force without sacking. I don't think it was intentional that he died anyway. I don't think it was like, oh, I'm going to suicide. I think it was, I'm going to jump to spam and their whole team happened to be there, so it's possible it was also miscommunication.
Our control point is being captured.
So he spawns, all of Reason's capping. So Froyo has super advantage, so b4nny has to stay alive in order to keep this going. So that was actually a really, really good flank by Blaze. If b4nny knew that was happening, even though he's at 90% Uber, God, that's such a hard call to make, man. It's like, you know my roamer is flanking the entire enemy team, including the enemy medic at choke, but I'm at 90% Uber. Do I leave my medic to go for the play with my roamer, or do I stay with my medic? And it's like, it's a really hard call to make in-game, but realistically, because we have the Spectre, we know that, you know, the entire enemy team's in front of him, right? It's absolutely the better call to go in, and because b4nny doesn't go in there, I'm pretty sure he's not going to get that medic now. The medic's just going to run for his life across the map. But if he had jumped right then with 200 HP onto the entire team, he would have killed Nox. He would have potentially got 2 picks, and then he would have had Clockwork take the Uber in. And let's be real, like Clockwork Ubers are fucking insane. So instead, they're forced to do like the most typical Uber in the world, which is jump in the entire enemy team, right? But now at this point, Nox has counter Uber, so it's a shame. Not much you can do. That was actually a really good jump by b4nny. I'm surprised. Oh, he actually did kill him. Okay, that was a good trade. Of course, Forsaken. I swear, Forsaken's done this the entire game where he's just backcapping. But I would say that was a pretty good play by b4nny to jump back in at the end there, especially since there's only like 3 minutes left. But someone's got to be watching Forsaken this game, I guess. So if you ever play that guy. So let's see. So now, Froyo's kind of falling apart. I'm not sure how b4nny just died. So Captain, so all of Reason is rolling in through Choke, but b4nny is still caught out at Choke. So, like, their communication's falling apart. b4nny thinks that they're holding Choke or something, when realistically they're all inside. So b4nny gets caught out for free, and now that means, well, I don't even know where b4nny got caught out actually. Yeah, could have gotten caught out somewhere else because they already had 2. So, I don't know. See, does Reason park the bus right now? If I was Reason, I would 100% park the bus right now. Set up on Spire with a heavy, because Forsaken just spawned, right? I would have him come back potentially as heavy or scout, and since Froyo is pushing, I would actually set up on mid with a heavy and just chill. So we see Froyo pushing. b4nny actually jumps really aggressively right there, but he does have Uber. You can tell that's sort of like a fake. He knows that he doesn't actually have Uber. They're at 92% when he jumped, right? But Reason doesn't know that because you can't know within that much precision how much Uber the enemy team actually has, so they're forced to back up regardless. So they're down Mike and Forsaken. We'll see how b4nny takes this Uber. So this is probably the only Uber that really matters in the game right now. Is he going to push this or not? He has 2 players up. Ash just got caught and died. That's not good. So it looks like b4nny spam either caught him plus Ash something, and Nox is forced right at that awkward position at the enemy train. Shade is about to have Uber, but Clockwork is at 10 HP. So this is actually a really weird situation because Clock's at 10 HP. So if this blue soldier is good, and it's Captain, if he's good and he knows that he hurt Clockwork and he goes in with this Uber, he should jump in, he forces Shade, right? And now he goes straight for Clockwork. And if that forces them to multi, so he's going to be a 1v3 multi, he will actually end up with an Uber advantage in this entire situation. He will kill everyone if this happens. Not only that, so Nox decides to back up. That's interesting. So Nox is actually playing the safe call, which I would suppose is arguable considering there's 2 minutes left in the wrap around. Why not play safe, right? So Nox is possibly playing it perfectly, and I'm just thinking only of what's strictly better rather than what's like better within the game. So Nox decides it's better to play safe, so he sells out Captain. Captain backs up. b4nny dies to random scout hiding underneath middle. And wait, did Cadis just kill everyone with cannonballs by pure luck? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to watch that. So that'd be 110,000, I guess. Let's go to that. Let's go to 110k and just watch only Cadis and see what happens. I'm kind of curious how they got popped in the first place there. How much of b4nny's decision making / mistakes are based upon Shade? Probably 0. Like very, very little. I don't think Shade is like necessarily a huge strat caller. It depends on the medic though. Realistically, I'm pretty sure b4nny's like the fucking iron law on that team, so just depends on the team dynamic. Let's watch KS. So KS stickies up the side. We have Captain watching Choke. So Captain actually jumps into them, and that's why they pop. And he only got denied because, well, that was an awkward pop by Nox too. Okay. So Cadis is realizing, all right, this entire push is all coming to Cadis. So he's like, well, Froyo has to be pushing because they have Uber advantage. Nox is backing up. So he's going to back up to Cadis, and Cadis is going to spam cannonballs across the map. Let's see what happens. So he's just sticking soldiers. Everyone in the world is jumping him. He kills 2 people with 1 cannonball. It's not even a double dunk. Literally, they stack up and he kills both of them. And Nox finishes off Blaze because he's 1 HP. And of course, look where Forsaken is. It's like every single time, man, he just goes for the back cap. So Reason has full Uber advantage, they're up 1 round, there's 1 minute remaining. This is like the unarguable you park the bus, because it's going to take them 30 seconds to build Uber and you can just chill out here. And of course, yeah, they're all pushing because they know they have to push. Clockwork rushes out. I don't know where exactly he came from. I think he came around the side. And then he kills Nox. So now it's going to be a huge DM fest because they're down Clockwork, but Reason is down a medic, and it's just come down to pure DM. And no one has Uber. Everyone's just chaotically pushing. Of course, Forsaken, of course he instantly goes to the door and he's like, oh, I'm just going to go backcap, guys. Mike was already backcapping. If Mike had the Pain Train equipped, he might have actually gotten that. Probably not, but it would have been closer. That's definitely one thing Mike should actually work on, especially on this map. It's like every time you die and you're not on mid, on Badlands, just equip the Pain Train, because it opens up so many things as Soldier, where the enemy team has to watch you RJing around Choke, they have to watch you RJing through Valley, not even killing people, literally just RJing past the enemy team and then going to Spire. It puts a lot of pressure on teams trying to defend. Froyo's pushing in, so what exactly just happened? We had Clockwork and Blaze pushing in Valley and they're dead, and Banny pushed, looks like House to try and get a pick here. But realistically, there's not much you can do. There's 1 minute remaining and they have high ground. Actually, there's 25 seconds remaining. Yeah, this game's over. They're pushing high ground, all of Reason is chilling. No Uber. Banny knows it, so it's GG. The EU gimmicks, you know, guys? According to my chat. So I guess that's Banny on Badlands. I think his worst game he played all at I-55, and it still wasn't necessarily that bad. I mean, he had, I think, 2 bad Ubers and a lot of situations on mids where I think he could have gone more aggressive rather than passive, and he would have gotten more kills, and he would have done more for his team, but it all just depends. Anyway,